Okay.
Okay, now, let's take it from the top.
This is the Lowdown Sports Show
Give me the lowdown.
with Drew
I just heard your dad might already hate you, and I was like,
Yeah.
what, brother? Oh, man.
and BJ.
Yeah, he could be part of the mascot's entourage and be throwing T-shirts into the crowd.
And it all starts right now.
All right, welcome into another episode of the Lowdown Sports Show. I'm your host, Drew.
And I'm BJ.
That's BJ.
That's BJ.
He sounds like Eeyore. He
Yeah.
looks like God don't know what. This
Hey,
is
I thought that we were okay with debuting new hairstyles around here this
the
week.
new BJ. Okay, this is just how you're feeling. You're very emotional lately.
Yeah, I've been in my feels. I've been listening to a lot of Blink and a lot of My Chemical Romance,
Okay,
Panic at the Disco.
Okay,
I've been in my feels, man.
okay. If you can't hang, then there's the door, baby. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, well, this is different. We'll
This is-
accept you. We'll accept you, BJ.
I appreciate it. Thank you. All I'm looking for right now is reassurance, my friend.
You got it.
All right, I'm gonna get rid of this. now.
Okay, he's out of his character now. He couldn't hold it in for too long.
Oh man, ugh, got my eyes.
Anyway, guys, we got plenty of things to talk about here today. We're talking WNBA Finals preview. That's the main topic of discussion. The finals are here. Stewie versus Asia. Liberty versus Aces. Big time battle on the way. We're previewing those finals for you.
That's what we've been waiting for all year, Drew.
Indeed. And earlier today, so beautifully, I wish they would have done it right now during the midst of this episode. That would have been great too. But the W has announced some expansion and a new team is coming to the league. We'll talk about that here later in the episode as well. And we didn't leave out the NBA today. We're still talking some NBA. NBA is around the corner. They had media days, and we're going to talk some of the notables from that, some quotables and notables, and
Notable quotables.
and also take a look at some of the top 5 NBA backcourts this season. I've got my rankings. I'll see what BJ's got. I'm gonna pose them to him and see what we can do with these rankings here. And that's what's in store for today. Before we get into it all, make sure you guys follow us on social media at @the_lowdown. That's THA_lowdown. It's in I was going to say it was in all caps like it was our promo code, but it's not. THA_lowdown over on socials, YouTube and Twitch. If you're watching us live right now, hit that subscribe button over on YouTube. Follow us over on Twitch. Like the video while you're here. Like, comment, subscribe, as they say over on the YouTube. TikTok, Instagram, X, and Facebook as well. Make sure you guys are following us there as well. And, of course, we want to give a shout-out to our partners, TeePublic, Fanatics, and SeatGeek. SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. You can get concert tickets, sports tickets, and a lot more over at SeatGeek. Use code The Lowdown in all caps to get $20 off your first order. And BJ, if the people didn't know it by now, they should know. And it's right above my head on our new overlay up there.
Yes,
This bad boy is presented by StatHead.
That's right, Drew. And StatHead proud to bring you a stat of the episode, as we always do, Drew. And well, I mean, what more can you say? We've been waiting for this matchup pretty much since the news came out that Stewie was heading to New York to become a member of the New York Liberty, and the super teams emerged, and we were just waiting for that kind of ultimate showdown for the WNBA Finals. Well, I want to go back, and this is not the first time that we've seen a playoff matchup between two of the 3 finalists and the MVP for the WNBA this year. Obviously, last year we saw in the WNBA semifinals, the Aces got the better of Stewie and sent her and Sue Bird out with a 3-1 series loss. That was the last time that we saw Sue Bird on the court. It was the last time that we saw Stewie as a member of the Seattle Storm. But for the Aces, it was about revenge, because back in 2020, in the bubble days in the WNBA finals, we got a unceremoniously sweep of the Aces by the Seattle Storm, going back to that 3-game series. And Drew, it was really just, I mean, Asia had 8 games played while she was the leader of the playoffs in terms of a lot of categories, including field goals, points, and everything. But really, when it mattered most, it was Brianna Stewart turning things on. You had Stewie with 37 in game 1, 22 in game 2, and 26 in game 3, leading all scorers in a series that was decided by no less than 13 points in every game. Just a total beatdown by Seattle in that 2020 bubble finals. So it's going to be interesting. They are 1-1 against each other, and this is going to be, I think, the biggest matchup that we've seen between Stewie and Asia in the playoffs. This is going to be really fun. We'll talk more about it later on in the show, but that's your stat of the episode, Drew.
There you go, BJ. Beautiful stat of the episode. You're right in my frame of mind here for today. We'll get into that former matchup that they had back in 2020 a little bit later. But here we go. We're going to go ahead and dive into things in the NBA side of things. Let's dive into that NBA Media Day. A lot of things went on with it. And the first thing we might as well dive into, because BJ already showed us the hairstyle and who decided to show up with a different hairstyle once again this year, Mr. Jimmy Butler. Last year, the dreadlocks, which he actually genuinely tested out before, so that didn't seem like it was a little bit of a troll or anything. But now looking back on it, be like, okay, it's definitely a troll. Last year, I was just thinking, like, okay, his teammates and whoever talked him out of doing the dreads, like, man, this doesn't look good. Go back to whatever you were doing. Now this year, we know he was messing around. And it was seen the next day when he was at practice back in the braids, and thank goodness. But talk about a guy that's going all out to do his trolling, Mr. Jimmy Butler, none other. Got the piercing on the eye. I think it was real, unless they were glued on there. Take a look at him. Yep, right here.
I think that's glued on. It can't be real, Drew.
It could be, and it could not. Because I mean, who knows? I feel like it really is. Because I feel like the lip ones, they had to be. No way they stayed on all day if they weren't. But if not, and he just had, like, I don't know, some like bent key rings or something, and that's crazy. But it looked like he went and actually got some for real ones. But like, some people really do that. Like, that is his actual hair, though. Like, he definitely got that done. So I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
He just had it straightened or whatever, right?
The lip ones were for real. If not, the eye, maybe you can make a case that they're glued on somehow. But I think he got them all for real and just got them all taken back out. Like, he went all out for sure.
I mean, and that's the funny thing to me is that, I mean, so often there's not a whole lot that, I mean, you get the same standard fare preseason, like, what are your expectations for the year? I'm not upset with Jimmy Butler for making it interesting and keeping some relevance to it. I mean, if this is going to be a recurring thing that we see, like, year in, year out, what is going to be the new look for Jimmy Butler? It's not something that he's, coming into the presser wearing. Like, I mean, obviously, if you're just wearing your jersey and everything like that, there's not really much that you can do to change it. But a different look and everything like that every year, that's certainly going to keep people talking, and maybe that's what he wants. I know that that's certainly not what he's going to be looking like when the season actually starts, but I mean, interesting to see the hair straightened. And is he wearing the eyeliner, Drew? Can we tell if he's wearing eyeliner?
I don't remember if he was wearing it. I don't think he was. That might have been.
I don't think so. It does look like he might have a little shadow or something on it, but
maybe. But I don't know.
Yeah.
But still, he still went far enough. That's still plenty.
Yeah, far enough for the purposes of what he was going for, I'm sure.
See, like, I aspire to be that level of petty. I just don't know if I would have actually got real piercings if those were ended up being real. Like, I almost want to ask him, like, I can't ask him, but somebody should ask him, like,
Yeah.
were those real piercings? Like, if you look at his lip when you're standing at him about to ask him questions, after practice or whatever, do you see little holes right here? Like, is it there? But they can close up fast, so they could already be Gonski. So
Yeah.
that's the good thing about this, and that's definitely why I think that he got him for real, because just an initial, like, yeah, they'll be in there for this. You can do that for one, and they will be real. But if you take them out and don't put anything back in it, those things will close up fast.
Oh yeah.
As a person who has earrings, he knows that in the early days that you have to leave these in. Like, I mean, obviously you got to clean these things, but you got to keep the hole open. You can't, if you take them off for a night, I mean, trying to put them bad boys in the morning.
Yeah.
So I think you got them for real, and they just
I think so
closing
too.
back up. They're closing back up. But
I'm sure, and that's funny to me. I am obviously, like you said, I mean, I don't know what the purpose is, but it's just, I don't think it's even pettiness. It's just trying to give people something to talk about besides basketball. I really feel like that's the case.
I think it's also petty, for sure.
Okay.
Because 2 years in a row. I mean,
yeah,
nobody's ever done that. I don't think either. But let's get into the other meat of Media Day. The Philadelphia 76ers, James Harden showed up to practice, and he was there practicing. He wasn't there the first day, but he was there the next day. And a little bit of mixed emotions with the 76ers. I mean, they just came off a good little season, had the MVP of the league in Joel Embiid, and, got a good team, but Harden wants to leave, but they didn't ship him out, but he's at practice. I mean, which is good. He's showing up because, I mean, if he was just sitting at home, well, this stinks. We got a disgruntled star. And, I mean, he's not even practicing with us. I mean, what are we going to do? Will we even get a good deal? Will we be able to ship him out? Is he just going to sit all season? Who knows? But he came in, it's a sigh of relief for the 76ers players. They can go out there and play with him for at least a little bit. He can help and win if they don't, find trade partner by mid-season or anything like that. But so uneasy with the 76ers a little bit because, like, you want to be excited, but this really important guy is wanting to still make his way out the door.
Yeah, and I saw a stat. I think it was it may not have been StatHead. It may have been somebody like on NBA Live. I think if Butler or if Harden was traded, he would be the third player and the first since Russell Westbrook to average 20 points and 10 rebounds the previous season and play in the next season with a different team. Westbrook's done it twice. I can't remember who the other player was that was the case for.
Would Harden not have done that when he did it? No, he didn't do it in Houston before he left?
No.
Oh, it wasn't a double-double. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I don't think he averaged 10. He may have, I mean, obviously 20 plus is probably chump change for him in terms of what he could be averaging for a season, especially back in his Houston days. But I don't think he was getting the double doubles until he got to Philly, averaging the double double, I should say.
Yeah, because that year with Westbrook is when they were the highest scoring duo in the league, and Westbrook had the 20 and 10 year, and then left to Washington immediately after. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's just a weird thing over there, and what they've got. I haven't looked into the depths of what this roster looks like because it probably will look different here pretty soon. Yeah, but we know the core pieces will probably stay. I mean, it just depends on what the package involves.
I just can't imagine that Harden plays the whole year there. I think it's very similar to what we saw with Kevin Durant and Kyrie. That he'll be his way out, but it won't be until the trade deadline.
Yeah, he's going to make his way out this season, that's for sure. But yeah, the 76ers have that to figure out. So good luck with that, Philly.
Good luck.
Milwaukee not having as much problems, a little bit more joy, more raised eyebrows. Like, might be able to do something real good this season. Real good. Look real good. It's freak time, apparently, as they're saying in Milwaukee, which I did not actually think they were going to go with the little combo thing right there with freak time, Dame time.
Dame time and Greek freak,
Greek freak. I thought they were going to try something else, but freak and freaky time. Okay, it's okay. But Giannis embraces the freak thing. I mean, like he's trying. I mean, sometimes he even cuts out the Greek. He just. You even see him on Instagram sometimes, like around his wife, like,
I don't need to see that. I didn't
but it's hilarious. He's funny though. But yeah, the duo in Milwaukee, BJ. We talked about it more last time, so we won't dig into the roots of it once again. But Damian Lillard taking pictures with the other stars, him, Lopez, Middleton, and Giannis. Like, I ain't never taken a picture like this before. Like, what's this like? This what this feel like? Oh, I like it. But
careful now, you're getting back in that freaky part of the show.
Whoa! Pause. Time out. But they're gonna be looking good, BJ. We've had discussions about what we think the record's gonna be, but they're excited. Dame keeps reiterating that he wants to win. He said, quote, "I don't think it's a secret how much I want to win. That's how we got here today. I couldn't be more excited. I couldn't be more thankful for this opportunity and to be part of this organization, to play alongside the best player in the league." Ooh.
Okay.
An immediate endorsement said best player in the league. Okay. Reigning MVP Joel Embiid. Jokic just won the championship. Okay. Best player in the league. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just saying, I mean, he's been up there as MVP talk, Defensive Player of the Year talk. So you certainly have an argument to make.
Yeah. And I mean, some people talk about it during the season, but I mean, okay, we making those statements like, okay, Embiid and Jokic gonna be like, okay, bet. What's up? We gonna all three fight for MVP once again for like the 5th season in a row?
Yeah, and who's not here for it? I mean, if anything,
I want LeBron to get another MVP. What are you talking about? I'm selfish. And Luka, heck, if Kyrie has,
I would love
his life. Give it to him. I'd take that.
Luka's been in the discussion the last 2 or 3 years. It's just been, can he stay healthy and can the Mavericks do enough? I mean, if he's still doing what he's doing and Kyrie's giving them the production he's going to give, it's not going to be all on Luka, and his stats may drop down a little bit. And that's the only thing that really is concerning to me is that, we had, while he was, pretty much having to, quote, do it all on his own at the beginning of the year last year, he was putting up MVP type numbers. But then when you're doing that, it's tough to stay healthy. You miss time. You get caught up by the rest of the league. And I mean, let's be honest, Drew, we're talking about Lillard and Giannis. Why wouldn't you want your new teammate immediately to give you that kind of distinction? I mean, it's certainly something that that vote of confidence and everything like that. I mean, I hope he is actually believing what he says as opposed to just saying it to, put it out there for the attention or the clicks or whatnot. But, I think they do have a pretty good chemistry and a good, already in a good spot to start bonding as teammates because of what we've already seen from their past interactions and going back to the All-Star game last year as well.
Agree. They're going to be a nice little squad, and they can do a lot of different things on offense, man. That pick and roll is going to be pretty crazy. I mean, you do a Giannis Lopez pick and roll, kick it out to Dame in the corner for 3, bang. I mean there's all different types of things that you can do with that offense. I mean, involve Middleton in it, some slips, Giannis to the basket, Lillard pocket pass inside, Giannis boom, boom. Same thing, Lillard, Lopez. I mean, and the defensive interior that they're going to have when you start Giannis and Lopez at the 4 and the 5. I mean, you can start Bobby Portis too and put Giannis at the 3, but I mean, still, they're going to have a nice defense regardless. I mean, it's going to be fun to watch on offense. Who else will be probably fun to watch because they're a loaded team now too? It's the Boston Celtics, BJ.
They were already loaded.
Yeah, now they're even more loaded. Now Giannis' buddy Drew Holiday, that's where he is now because he said, he's not staying in Portland and made his way over to Boston here.
Nor should he.
Oh yeah. And now, the squad in the Celtics is looking real nice. Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford. That's your starting 5 looking like. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But
Derek White off the bench and some others. I don't know what the rest of the bench looks like right now, speaking it off the top of my head without having the roster up. But they got us good. It's a great start. I mean, they gave away some depth pieces, which is going to stink in the end. But they still have some guys over there they're going to get to contribute now and some other dudes off the bench whose name don't ring off the top of my head. But the unit looks good. I mean, as long as it stays healthy, Kristaps Porzingis, you can stay healthy, then you can do some damage here. You got some of the veterans and you've got the youth that has been there before. So
and that's the thing to me is that after the Drew Holiday move, as good as that is, and I'm not trying to knock the move or anything like that, but people that were immediately like, okay, Milwaukee made a move and then Boston goes and gets Drew Holiday, they're back to being the favorites in the East. not to discredit the move, but I don't necessarily think that that's the case. I think that this is going to be a really good battle to see, and obviously don't want to give too much away because we'll do a season preview here pretty soon. But it's going to be interesting. I'm really excited to see how it all shakes out. I still think I give the slight edge to Milwaukee, even with Lillard instead of Drew, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. They had the best record in the league last year. I mean, you add Damian Lillard to it. I mean, you kick out Drew Holiday. I mean, that's still probably good for best record in the league. But Boston, yeah, they're definitely not the immediate favorites to take a look at, and I think they've got a problem to still figure out. And maybe or maybe not, he'll get exposed this year because people haven't really been the biggest fan of his anyway, and that's the head coach Joe Mazzulla. I don't think he really calls actually too many plays, does too much coaching. So we'll see if he can last with this squad throughout a second season.
There were people ready for him to be done before he even got through the first one. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Next, we want to talk about the Clippers here. They're coming in for a potentially finally healthy season. Kawhi skipped all of last year, and, PG's got to heal up. Westbrook is just a dog who's always healthy, it seems like. So now that trio, and which has typically been a duo in the past, a trio now with Westbrook on top of things, back with his old teammate Paul George for a full season for this year. They're in the kind of third installment of this, healthy to start the season, go through, try and make something happen. They thought it was going to happen years ago, and so many renditions of this Clippers squad has come through. The one with, Montrezl Harrell and Patrick Beverley, and then, last year's crippled squad and whatever that just added Westbrook to it and did some really kind of cool things. I mean, like photo of the year last year with Westbrook on the ground with that like sky cam above the basket of him like flexing. That was a dope picture. Yeah. But Clippers going to try and put something together, but the West is kind of interesting. Not sure how it's going to shake out. The top is pretty heavy. Will that work out as long as things are healthy? Do you see the Clippers doing anything more than they've done lately this year?
I mean, it's tough to say because the last really full healthy season that they had, I feel like, was back in the bubble. They've seen Paul George and Kawhi both miss significant portions of time since then. And, not to say that when they're not fully healthy, they're not a really good team, but that was a couple years ago, Drew. And we're still trying to see what, how much longer the window is in terms of where they are and what they can be. I mean, I think that they're in a position that they could be up there as like a top 4 seed in the West, but I'm not sure that I think that they get past the conference finals. I think that's about where they could get to. It all depends on matchups, obviously, but I don't know. I think health being a real big issue. There's still the question of there's some really good teams that are younger than them that have the ability to hang around with them, and in a best of 7, anything is possible. So it really all just depends on matchups because they could easily get run out by the Warriors, by the Kings, by the Memphis Grizzlies, by Dallas, by Denver. I mean, there's ample possibilities. So I'm going to say no. I don't think that we're going to see them immediately just get back and be, a final contender and possibly trying to win a title. But this got to be they're probably one of their last few chances.
Oh yeah, for sure. Clippers all going to depend on health once again this season, like it has this entire run for them. And let's I'm going to rapid fire through some of these last teams, and we'll slide into those top 5 NBA backcourts and see what BJ's thoughts are. Memphis Grizzlies, D Rose saying he's there. He's not there to babysit Ja Morant. He's there to push him, and we'll see what the former MVP can do with the player that has been compared to him ever since he entered the league in Ja Morant. The Lakers and the Nuggets. The Lakers have been doing some chatting about the Nuggets in the early part of this season. Ready for their matchup on October 24th with the Nuggets, and the Nuggets, saying they're not really worried about the Lakers and why are they still talking about them. But the funny thing is, Mike Malone was definitely still talking about the Lakers on the podium after they won the championship. And, after they had beat them in that series, for sure, lingering talk about past the Lakers. So, Mr. Malone,
I think it's just trying to build up some excitement, Drew.
I guess, and I think he's still riding on the hype and the wave from last year, just riding that train, still talking some smack. Hey, we're technically still the defending champs until June, and someone else is crowned if it's not us.
Yeah.
But they'll see. They're not satisfied with one ring. They're going to try and go back to back. We'll see how that works out for them. Got to be healthy all year once again. Lakers got to come in healthy and see what they can do about it as well. And young team, Detroit Pistons. We've mentioned them casually quite a few times here on the show, and their goal for this season, BJ, is just to play 82 meaningful games. They've got some young former number 2 picks and James Wiseman and Marvin Bagley, who are going to be competing for the backup center minutes throughout the course of the season as they continue to grow as a young squad, which they are very young. But worst league record last season, 17-65. So we're going to see if this team can squeeze out 30 wins or something, or push for like a play-in spot. Who knows? But they have a lot of talent out there.
Injuries notwithstanding, they are going to play some meaningful games later in the year. I think that they're going to be up there fighting all throughout.
Yep. And in San Antonio, I think they've got an interesting mix of guys who, if they stay healthy, BJ, I think it can be something nice. We obviously know what Victor Wembanyama can bring. Well, I say that we obviously know. We haven't seen him play NBA basketball, but we've seen the talent that he possesses and what he could be as an NBA player. And got talented guys around him like Devin Vassell, who just got a new contract with the Spurs. Trey Jones, former Duke player, young brother of Trey. Not Todd. I'm getting
Tyus, right?
Tyus, there we go. Tyus Jones, younger brother of Tyus Jones, who is out in Washington now. And they also have Keldon Johnson. So I mean, they've got those players are sneakily good. And I mean, if they can put something together, they have a good enough supportive bench. San Antonio will be really fun. And
it's an under the radar team, yeah.
And that'll round out our NBA media talks here. And want to dive into some of these backcourt players, BJ, and I wrote most of it down, so I won't be on the on the computer as much for this one. But I want to take a look at some of the old duos from last season that are carrying over this year, at least for now, and the new duos that we're looking at for this season's backcourts. And I will let you rank these. These are in we'll see. I'll see how I want to go about this. But here are the old duos. Luka and Kyrie, they technically formed last year, and they're carrying on into this year. Backcourt duo. Paul George and Russell Westbrook combined last year and going into this year. James Harden and Tyrese Maxey, still together for now. Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. Nice little duo in Cleveland.
That's a very nice duo. Yeah.
And Trae Young and DeJounte Murray in Atlanta. Those are the old duos that are coming into this season. Here are the new duos. And we'll see if we can concoct a top 5 no order here together with these combined duos here.
All right.
New duos. Ja Morant and Marcus Smart. No backcourt duo. Steph Curry and Chris Paul.
Wow.
Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green in Houston.
Okay.
I think Houston going to be fun.
Yeah, that's could be.
Drew Holiday and Jaylen Brown. And lastly, Devin Booker and Bradley Beal.
Yeah,
so sounds good on paper.
A lot of them sound good on paper, yes.
We know what the old stuff looks like on the court. We don't know what the new stuff looks like just yet, but we are pretty confident that some of this new stuff can look really good.
Yeah.
And I think I can go ahead and toss together my top 5. If you want to think on it, you let me know.
Okay.
But here are mine. Luka and Kyrie. Steph and CP3, who enter it as a new duo. Booker and Bradley Beal. Paul George and Russell Westbrook. I'll put them in there.
Okay.
They played together before in OKC. Really good duo. And lastly, I'm going to go with – this is tough.
Yeah, it is.
Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
That last one is really hard.
It is. Because, I mean, you forgot – I mean, I can't believe that Beal Booker's not in there.
I didn't say Beal Booker?
No.
Yes, I did.
No,
was that not the third one I said?
I don't think so.
It was. Yeah, because I said Luka and Kyrie, Steph and CP3,
Kyrie,
Booker and Bradley Beal, Jordan Westbrook, and then Garland and Mitchell.
Well, who did you? I thought you said
I
somebody
didn't
else.
say Holiday and Brown. I didn't say Van Vliet and
Yeah.
Green. Didn't say Morant and
No.
Smart. Didn't say
No.
Harden and Maxey, and didn't include Young and Murray. Yeah, those are
Okay.
those are
Okay.
Booker and Beal are in for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say I must have I don't know. It sounded like alien garble or something over here. No, I mean it's tough to pick against those five, but I really feel like if you want to throw in, I mean, a great defensive backcourt, it's got to be Drew and Brown. They've got to find some way in there, right? I mean, that's probably the best defensive backcourt in the NBA. Now you've got a lot of and that's the thing is it's tough to. It's tough
I don't
to
know.
pick against.
What's the better defensive backcourt, Holiday and Brown or Morant and Smart? Because I mean, Smart
Oh,
the
yeah, that's
player of
true.
the year. I mean, it just depends on who you got as a defender, Brown or Morant. Brown, all right, but Morant also all right.
Yeah.
I mean, a good shot blocking guard, that's for sure.
Yeah,
that's one since John Wall.
And it's tough to pick against your five. I was trying to see if I could include Drew and Brown in there. And maybe over Steph and CP3. Not saying that because of
you want to is that what you're going to do? You going to swap them out, Steph and CP3 for Harden?
I'm still thinking because like all time, obviously not. But coming into this year,
we're talking about right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking that might be the case. I think that as good as Steph is offensively and as good as a facilitator that CP3 can be, I mean, it feels like you've got to find a room in there for Drew and Brown. To me, at least.
Well, here's what ESPN's top backcourts from last year looked like. BJ, the first list I will give you, they had them in order, so I can go in that order. Matt Barnes did this one. Garland Mitchell, the fifth best. Simmons and Irving, fourth spot. Smart and Brown in the third spot. Celtics. Booker and CP3, the second spot, and Steph and Clay. The top spot. The only change for Chinea Gumbake's list, she had Trae Young and DeJounte Murray swap for Simmons and Irving in that fourth slot.
Yeah, and that looks better, even though they didn't.
I think
things didn't go well for them last year. That was the case. That was the right move.
Yeah, so that's what that looked like last year in comparison now to what we're seeing this year. Some of those guys got different backcourt mates, but they're still in the conversation. Players that are still in this conversation. Everybody but Ben Simmons and Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson only because he's getting moved to like the small forward, not because he left Golden State or anything. Everybody else is still in the best backcourt in the NBA conversations. So we'll see how things shake out. But those are my top five: Luka and Kyrie, George and Westbrook, Garland and Mitchell, Steph and CP3, and Booker and Beal. And you got the swap for CP3 and Steph for Holiday and Brown. There we go. Those are your top backcourts, and now it's time for BJ's best.
Well, thank you, Drew. Thank you. So it's very rare that I talk about something personal on here, but we're just gonna have a kind of a little conversation here. Drew, we both have called some meaningful games in the past. Correct? You think?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought high school for a second. I was like, well, how many did I actually have? But then I was like, oh, college. I called a whole baseball conference tournament. Yes, that's meaningful.
I was just saying, I mean, that's the thing is that most of the time you will think playoffs immediately as probably the most meaningful. But have you ever called a regular season game that had the hype of like a potential district/state championship level type of game?
No, only because my team wasn't fully healthy. So no, if they would have been healthy, then yes, Sulphur Springs versus Anna last year would have been it. Yeah, because that would have probably literally decided
it. Yeah. So this week, as part of my, we had a week off, but as part of my,
where you're going with this.
Yeah, you know where I'm going.
Yeah.
You already knew because you were. I knew the case Monday, and then you shared it on Facebook and tagged me, and
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I'm ready for this. I've got a top 10 showdown tomorrow night. And this is the first time that I've ever called a regular season game that I feel like means maybe more than some of the playoff games that I've called before. I've done ample playoff series in terms of baseball and then playoff games in football.
Yep.
And sometimes you can tell that there's one team that's clearly going to overmatch the other.
Mhm.
And so, it may be a playoff game, but it's really just more of a, like on to the next one, yawn, get it out of the way kind of deal. Because it's just one of those, the way the matchups worked out that, you'd like every game to be competitive as a broadcaster, at least. If you're a fan of the team, you'd like an easy win or two, but it just doesn't work out that way. And so this is probably the biggest game that I've had, because the furthest I've gone in football is 3 rounds in before my team that I was calling for lost. The furthest I've gotten in baseball is 4 rounds deep before my team lost.
Can't relate to any of that. I've only seen the second round.
Well, hey, I mean that's still not as bad as getting trounced every time out in the first round or something like that. There's been, I'm sure, plenty of teams that would love to win a playoff game, but this is the biggest game I feel like I've had maybe of my career, and so I don't know if it's one of those things that it's something like anxiety or just like the nerves of knowing like this is a big deal. It shouldn't be. You approach it like it's just another game, but in the back of your mind, that can't be the case. That's not the case at all. So I guess the question is, would you do anything differently if you were in my shoes preparing for this really big game that not just people in the town are talking about, not just people around the area are talking about, but this is a game that's being talked about across the state, Drew. That's how big this end is.
Well, I guess as far as doing something differently, it's like, normally in probably most situations, other than this specific one, like I'd be nervous or like last second nervous, which happens a lot, but doesn't happen near as much anymore. But I'd probably be super fired up, to be honest, because it just hits for me different here. So like when I got the tournament call to do all that baseball in Mississippi, I was fired up. I mean, there's a lot of prep, whole bunch of teams I did not have a clue about in a conference I had no clue about really yet, and I had to learn them all 8 teams that were in that thing, and half of them didn't have information. It was kind of nerve-wracking, but I was excited still just because of the magnitude. Like I'm doing this entire conference tournament every single game. So, I mean, that's huge. And then when you see the numbers of everybody that was tuning in, after everything you've done, and, it just kind of verifies everything that you're doing. And you'll have that same type of thing with this hyped up type 10 matchup. You'll have numbers, you'll have people watching in and, tuning into the game. I mean, if you can find numbers at the end, I'd be curious to listen and figure out what they are in the end. But no, I mean, I just have a whole different thing about it. I mean, I'd probably a little bit nervous just to make sure you don't forget anything. Like, a normal week, like, shit, did I actually write down what their team's record was or what this coach's overall record was for his career or whatever, like something basic.
Mm-hmm.
I just would probably just say, check your cross your T's, dot your I's on everything, before you head out. But approach it differently. I mean, not just kind of do everything that you usually do. I mean, unless there's more things accessible, then go after those if there are. If somebody's you got the opposing coach that's willing to divulge a lot of history, like I actually had a coach last week that gave me all the stuff that I actually asked for from him, not just roster and starters, but like this kid's committed to this school. He's gotten offers from these 4 other schools. This one kid was a heavyweight wrestling champion last year. Like those little
Absolutely.
Extra things right there that everybody likes to have a little factoid about in the meat of a game, but nothing extra, man. Just do what you've always done. Be BJ. I mean, don't try and step outside of your box. I mean, less is more, but still, kick ass. It's a big game. Hopefully your team wins. And good luck, Doc. I mean,
hey, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I got a little bit more than I usually get from. I mean, most of the time I get a roster. I don't get a 2 deep depth chart or anything like that. I've got a depth chart.
Too deep is college. You won't get that.
Yeah. Well, I've got the too deep, or the depth chart, I should say, over there with my stack of stuff. But you know, I mean, this is a huge deal. I do have some information about some of their key contributors. They've got, you know, I mean, it's going to be funny if you're a country music fan, but it's a, you know, just a wild coincidence that there's a kid on the team that's named Willie Nelson. Believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. So it's funny how that works. If you know, I'm not necessarily thinking like, you know, making any puns or anything like that, because that's just, you know, I mean, there's a time and a place for it. It's not really my time or place, since it's not my team, but it is just kind of a funny little coinkydink, if you will. But no, it really is just one of those things that's like, there's a lot out there, trying to make sure that I don't forget anything. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I mean, the less is more to me. I always like to have a lot that I know I'm not going to be able to get to, just because, you know, I feel like that's, to me, is the better approach, because, you know, I have it if I need it. And I've already gone through, like, if this result happens, I know the last time that it happened, and I can access it.
I'm saying this specifically, like, for this time, because, like, you're going to be thinking, like, if you know, do so much extra prep into this, like, you're going to forget those basic things that I talked about. Like, you'd be busy trying to find, you know, Willie Nelson's grandmother's cousin's favorite birthday.
Oh, no, thankfully not anything like that.
or whatever, just digging into the meat of stuff, and, you know, forget to write down, you know, how far they went in the playoffs last year. Forget to take something like a pen to write things down during the game with, you know, just doing just doing a little too much. But I mean, you do whatever feels comfortable for you, dog. Just don't want you to, you know, forget the stuff that you just take week to week, because that could easily happen doing all that extra stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, it's one of those things at the end of the day, and it is, you know, it's just football. I have to remind myself that it's just football. I've been there 50 plus times now that I've done, you know, just a regular standard fare type of game. And so, you know, it is just interesting, because, I mean, this is probably the most meaningful one. I've had one team that's won a district title, Drew, and it was basically on a technicality, because we lost the game that determined the district, but they had to forfeit it after the fact because of an academically ineligible or a player that was ineligible to play in the first half, but he did play. You know, just kind of you know, it didn't feel earned. It wasn't one of those that you went out there, you did it on the field, but it was still, you know, it still affected. And you kind of had like a whole week after that it's like, well, you know, it happened, but it doesn't, like, you still got a rotten taste in your mouth from how the game went, even though now nothing from that really matters. So, you know, this is a game that could potentially determine district. There's still, you know, 4 other games after this that will help in doing that, but it's tough to say that this won't be, you know, the one that ends up being the determining factor in it. So we'll see how it goes. I'll be happy to report back at least over the weekend to you. I'm not sure if anybody really outside of this area is going to care, but, you know, that's, to me, a top 10 showdown is pretty big. And, you know, I just hope it's not too big for my britches, man.
No, you'll be fine, man. You were built for these moments, dog. And hopefully I'll get to listen in. Hopefully if I can get the connection on the way out to North Dakota tomorrow, because I ain't gonna be calling no games, so I'm gonna be listening to something.
Sounds like a plan. I'll tell you you know, where to go, and I'll send you the direct link if I can get the direct link, but I know you know where to go. So
all right, go Jack.
If you're able to tune in, I appreciate it.
Let's go.
You giving me the ultimate compliment last week. I just was like blushing. Like, what did I do to deserve this, man? That's BJ's best, though, Drew.
BJ's best. Once again, man. Jackrabbit's going to get a W.
I hope so. Let's go.
Big game. No matter what. It's a big game. Big game for BJ. Make sure you record this game, too, by the way.
Absolutely. I always do.
Yeah, make sure you get that audio. And you guys out there, make sure you get that merch from our partners at TeePublic. Man, oh man, what are you gonna do this year without getting your Lowdown merch. I don't know, but you missed the sale that just happened, so you miss out on that, but you don't have to miss out in general. It's about time to get those closets filled for clothes to keep you warm this fall. Check out our selection of long sleeves, crew necks, and hoodies at TeePublic and toss one in the cart. There's no sale, but you get free shipping on orders $80 or more. That's right, free shipping on orders $80 or more. So even when you get stickers and you get t-shirts and whatever else, when the stickers come separate through their own envelope and the shirts come in their own package, that is all still free shipping. So take advantage of it while you can. You'll need to keep warm, and we can help you and make sure you look good while you're doing that with your new gear. Visit the link in the description and shop at TeePublic and get our merch today.
Drew, it's amazing you're talking about staying warm because it's until we got rain last night. I mean, holy cow. And it's down below 80 degrees at the time of our recording, which is just truly amazing. It might be actually getting into fall finally down here around these parts. But, if you are looking for some playoff merchandise, you want to stay warm and support your favorite Major League Baseball team as the postseason is underway. We are already into the division series. Maybe you want to support those Texas Rangers, as we have talked about here in the past on our show. Why don't you head on over to Fanatics? You can check out the link in the description to find where to go to get the postseason gear for your favorite Major League Baseball team. You've also got NFL hoodies as they salute to service here for the month of October into November with Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and just a whole lot of stuff available. Plus, don't forget about becoming a Fanatics MVP. You can turn your everyday shopping into even more fan cash with Fanatics MVP Fan Cash Plus. Then you get weekly deals that are exclusive to just you as a Fanatic MVP. And right now, for 24 hours only, this is good through the end of the night. If you're listening live, if you catch it in the morning on the podcast, you missed out, but I'm sure there are going to be other offers over the weekend. You can save more, 25% off with no minimum order, but you get up to 30% off orders over $75 by using the promo code PICK, P-I-C-K, like an interception, PICK at fanatics.com, which is officially licensed. Everything. And now, Drew, as we do each and every week around here, these parts of our podcast, it's time to find out what's on Drew's mind.
Well, buddy boy,
Yeah.
what's on Drew's mind today is BJ. I don't know if you've seen this before, but I'm sure you watch the NBA on TNT, and they've hit Chuck with a game before. Out of nowhere, he's never expecting it, but they asked him to play this game. You know what this game is called?
I do. I think I know what team he played for, right?
Not exactly, but who he played for.
He played.
It is who he played for. That's not.
I
the
knew
game
that's
you were
what
about
you were
to play.
going for.
That's not the game you were about to play. You thought you were about to play this game, but you're not.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what Chuck plays. You're playing a different game.
Okay.
Chuck plays who he played for, and today, BJ, you're playing how long he been here.
Okay.
You are playing how long he been here, and there's a lot at stake in this game, BJ. And Lowdown fans, you listen out there. If BJ can get more than half of these, how long he been here's, we will do a giveaway.
Ooh.
We will do a giveaway. I'm going to give him 10 NBA players. 10 NBA players. If he can get 6 of these NBA players, we are doing a giveaway. Guaranteed. Not 5, not 4, but 6 of these NBA players. If he gets them without cheating.
Without cheating.
No cheating.
My hands are here. Then
we will indeed do a giveaway.
All right. Y'all be wishing me well right now. I'm gonna need it.
And we'll try this again one day. Probably I'm just throw it randomly in the middle of the NBA season and try not to hit on the same players. We're gonna have a mix of stars and non-stars here. So just and what we're gonna go for here in this how long he been here little brief game here that we just kind of made up. The cousin of who he played for, how long he been here. I need you to tell me how long they have been playing in the league and what year they're going into. So, example, and you won't get this one. No. LeBron James has played 20 seasons in the NBA, and he is going into his 21st season. Yeah. That is how long he been here.
Okay. So it's not trying to guess how many
years he's been with a specific team.
Correct.
How long he's been in the league. Okay.
How long has he's been in the league?
Okay. All right. I feel a little bit better now. We might actually be doing a giveaway.
Oh, he feels better about this, does he? He has his NBA knowledge down. Well, we will most certainly see.
Maybe.
Let's see. Let's get an NBA star.
Okay.
Who do we want to start off with? Let's go with Mr. Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard. How long he been here?
Is Damian Lillard entering his 12th season, Drew?
Damian Lillard entering his 12th season, you ask?
Yes.
He is entering his 12th season. He is
All
11
right.
seasons in the league, and this is year 12 for Damian Lillard. That is
So
one for one,
on
BJ. That's a good start. It's a good start.
Very good start.
That's how you want to do it. Okay, BJ. Let's get a little bit. Okay, yeah. Give yourself a ding. You know what? Hold on. Where's that bad boy at? I'll do it. Where's it at?
It's at the bottom.
Right bottom. All right, I got you. All right, number 2, BJ. This one might seem simple. Could be complicated, though. Luka Doncic. How long he been here?
Okay. Luka Doncic.
I wish I had the little clock.
Is Luka Doncic entering his 6th season, Drew?
5 years in the NBA going into year 6. Luka Doncic. You are now 2 for 2, sir.
Hey, look at that. Only got to get at least 4 to give away something. Come on, lucky fan.
At least 4 more.
We can do it. Come on.
All right, this has been too easy for you so far. Let's get a little bit more complex, eh?
All right. Let's
see. Malik Beasley. How long he been here? No cheating. Let me see those hands. All right.
I think Malik Beasley is entering his 15th season. Is that correct, Drew? 15?
Sheesh. You think he's been in the league that long? You doubled him up. He's 7 years into the league, going into year 8. Malik.
Who am I thinking of then? There's a Beasley that was at Kansas State in the late aughts. I thought. You know who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that Malik Beasley?
I'm thinking Michael Beasley.
Michael. God.
He's not even in the league anymore.
No,
he's
not.
China, getting MVPs and stuff over there. Whatever. But 2 for 3
right.
is okay, BJ. We can't be perfect. It's all right.
No, we cannot.
You can only have 3 more errors, though.
Mm.
All right. I told you it wasn't always going to be easy. Stars and non-stars. Let's see who we will go with next. This one, a little bit of middle of the pack for you. Maybe it'll be easier, BJ, but maybe it won't. Patrick Beverley. How long he been here?
I want to say that this will be Patrick Beverley's 11th season, Drew.
Dude, I'm so sad. You were so close, bro. This is going to be his 12th season.
Oh man.
I know.
I hate when it's off by 1. I thought I had it.
I know, man. Dang. Well, we're 2 for 4 so far. We started out hot. Now we're cooling off. Uh-oh. Get to sweating, Lowdown fans. He's not doing too hot. Let's try and help him out here. Let's go back up to those superstars. Bing! Anthony Davis. How long he been here?
I think this is season 12 for Anthony Davis.
And it is season number 12 for AD. You're 3 for 5, Mr. BJ. Okay.
All right. 60%.
Dang, the superstars are obviously too easy for you. You're knocking those home. Let's see if we can slide to a middle of the packish guy once again and see if we can get one of those guys on the board. How about a guy with a really nice name, man? I mean, it's a real cool one. I'm down with it. How about OG Anunoby? How long he been here? Now that is a tough one.
Is this his 6th season, Drew?
PJ, I really hate this for you. Your last 2 misses, you have been off by 1.
1 year.
He has been in the league 6 years. This is his 7th season.
Man, we should count these, man. Come on.
These are tough. We're at 3 for 6. We're at 3 for 6. We still
Man.
have a chance. We still have a chance.
Gotta go 3 for 4.
Let's continue. Let's see. We already did Luka Doncic. Let's talk about another one. Hope you're familiar with this guy. Former Toronto Raptor, DeMar DeRozan. How long he been here?
Drew, I think this is going to be his 8th season.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. DeMar DeRozan?
Am I not thinking? I mean, I know who DeMar DeRozan is. I guess he's not been in the league that long.
Brother, he was in the conference finals 7 and 8 years ago with LeBron. This is going to be his 15th season.
15? Golly.
Oh, yeah. He's up in the scoring ranks. He's got 20,000 plus points in this league.
Time flying by then,
Dang,
I guess.
thought I was helping you right there. Dang.
I gotta go 3 for 3, man.
All right, so oh man, this hurts me.
Man, I thought it was. I mean,
let's see if we
it doesn't. I guess it doesn't feel like he was. You know, I mean, I know he was part of the Spurs, but that doesn't feel like 8 years ago, Drew. That's the problem.
No. Toronto was 8 years ago. The Spurs was just a few.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's see what we can do here. Back to the top of the echelon of the NBA. Let's go with Stephen Curry. How long he been here?
I want to say this is season 15 for Steph Curry.
There we go. Another one. All right, BJ, what's your
Michael
count?
Brown. I got 4 right, 4 wrong. I got to go 2-0. So somebody's lucky and taking home a prize.
If you finish 5 and 5, I will give you a bonus.
Okay, that we could get over the top.
The
with.
people.
All right.
2 more. One's gonna be a star and one will be a non-star.
Okay.
Okay. Chris Paul. How long he been here? The new teammate of Steph Curry.
Drew. Is this season number 19 for Chris Paul?
Thank the Lord. Woo!
Oh man.
There you go, BJ.
I was going to flip my computer if I missed it by 1 again. I was going
Dude,
to
that's too hurt. I was like, man, that's the closest guess you could have possibly done. I didn't think you were gonna get that close on those. I thought it was gonna be the opposite, be far away on those two and be super close to DeRozan or get it. All right. This is the decider. You've got 5 and you've missed 4. If you get this one, it's a lock in, but you can also do a little sudden death.
Okay.
For a bonus question. All right. I told you this one will not be easy, BJ.
I know.
I'm going to stay on this list here and not open up a new one. Oh, man. Nicholas Batum. Who he play for, or how long? Sorry, wrong show. Nicholas Batum. How long he been here?
Drew, he's been around for a while.
He has.
Yeah, if I get this wrong by 1, I'm gonna be upset.
I hope.
I'm gonna say this is year 14 for Nicholas Batum.
DJ, you went the
by
wrong
1?
way. You went the wrong way. You were thinking 15, like you almost said that, but you went backwards. If you'd have went forwards, you'd have got it smack on the money. This is 15 years so far in the league for Nicholas Batum, going into his 16th season.
Man,
That's brutal. I
Man.
can see it in your eyes like he's about to get so close. And I thought you were going to say 15 and switch to 6 and go higher. But you went the other way. It's okay. All right, sudden death, BJ. I need you to pick a letter. And I'm going to give you 3 letters. And whichever letter you pick, we're going to that player in his name. Okay. So I'm going to give you an H, an M, and an S. Which one do you want?
H.
H?
Yeah.
All right. Harrison Barnes, how long he been here for sudden death and a potential giveaway from the Lowdown? Harrison Barnes, how long he been here?
I am going to say, Drew, he is entering year 12.
There he goes, BJ. He got the sudden death question. He made it, and we can do a giveaway. Oh.
Woo!
We will announce what it is at a later date, but BJ came through for you guys with the sudden death W. Man, this was an awkward kind of in-between player with the experience here, because we've had the 19 with Chris Paul. We've had a 6 and a 7. He's close to the middle here.
Mm-hmm.
And I low-key, this is one of the ones that I thought might have been those ones where you got one off, because it's like, okay, he's been to the finals ever since Curry and them went, so it's been like 7-8 years right now, somewhere in that range, a little bit more. He might have been here before with Golden State. Okay, year 12 coming. Boom.
I was trying to remember. I remember him at North Carolina, and I was trying to remember when precisely he left North Carolina to come to the NBA. I thought it was 2012. Thank goodness. We got it right. We got it right.
I better see some new subscribers and some new likes on these videos with me playing this game and giving BJ a sudden death chance, because without sudden death, we wouldn't have gotten there today.
Nope.
I wouldn't have gotten there today.
And you have to be a subscriber to win. I'm going to make that sense. Since I'm the one that won, I get to dictate the rules, right?
That's right. Hey, BJ, you heard it here first. You got to be a subscriber to the channel to win. Oh man, hella details. That's what's on Drew's mind.
Oh, that was
how
fun.
long he been here?
That was fun.
That was
fun, and somehow stressful at the same time, but fun.
I'm gonna have to toss that in again at some point. Hopefully,
let's stick to playing that with guests. I don't know if I'm ready for the pressure pack seat.
I want to play it probably one time too.
Well, yeah,
we can. Oh, I'm gonna do the WNBA version now for sure. I'm saying, how long she been here? And that's a super tricky question.
Yes, that's going to be very interesting to see. But speaking of the WNBA, Drew.
Speaking of it, BJ.
We had some expansion news. How about that?
Announced earlier today. And it's not coming to the place that we thought it was, I don't think. I don't think we said the Bay, did we? Did we? No, we went with somewhere
we said that the Bay was probably...
Oh, we went Denver. We were like, Denver, because Kathy had visited Denver or whatever. She had us going. You little sneaky joker, you. But officially announced a random thing here. Harrison Barnes, his second middle name is Jordan. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, continue.
North Carolina.
Right? Maybe that's why he went.
That's good.
Yeah, very well. But in the WNBA, expansion has been announced to the Bay Area. Golden State gets a WNBA affiliate team, and that was the official news announced earlier today. Still speculation on a second team joining the fold, because 13 teams just doesn't make any sense. You got to have 14, got to have an even number. And there has been talks about it being Portland, the city of Portland, being the other team to join the mix. And I was trying to explore this with some other people earlier today, and I've seen some of the comments in response. And I understand now, because the venue's kind of been an issue in terms of Portland, and that's why it hasn't been finalized yet. They've got the owners out there that want to do it, and the people that want to pay the money, and the fans that would come out there and see it. The demand is there. It's just kind of about the revenue, and I think I saw something about the travel situation still as well. I mean, which is a problem for the entire league, but yet and still, I mean, it enters the fold as a problem as to Portland kind of getting in the mix here. And I know when we originally got into the depths of expansion, BJ, we were talking about when teams enter the fold, they're going to need an East and a West team, to kind of even things out. And I don't remember if we mentioned it on here. It would be that it would either be that or they would have to move another team out of their East or West over into West or East.
Yeah.
I don't remember if we mentioned that or not.
I don't think we did.
On my radar, earlier today, before I even saw the map, of things. Once, I hear Bay Area is coming out, like, okay, that's definitely going to be a West team. So I'm thinking East immediately. And, first thought was Toronto. And there are issues with Toronto as well, trying to get that together. See,
I was going to say, in fact, today, we just saw the MLSE had pulled out of the bidding. So there is some doubt as to whether or not that's going to come out or come together for Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto might take a little bit longer at this point as far as, bringing a team into things, but I think they'll still keep playing that Canada game until they can get a team.
Does it open the door for Philly if it's not Toronto?
I don't know. I think they're really kind of eyes on Portland right now because the deal with Portland, if they get Portland into the mix, it's a team that has been here before, and I thought that was something. I definitely think that's something I brought up, in our podcast before that, we bring in a brand new team and a former team, about those possibilities. So Portland Fire be coming back. I don't know if they would use the same name considering the Sun are here, but they had Miami Soul and Portland Fire at the same time. So they could probably use the same name, and they probably will, which would be good for the franchise, I think, and they could bring to life those old school jerseys as well and start dropping those out, which, they need to step up on the merchant jerseys anyway. But Portland still, it's very much in the mix, and it would move what I've seen so far, the Minnesota Lynx to the Eastern Conference.
Which makes sense.
Based on the maps there. You could possibly move Texas too, but, it doesn't really make a ton of sense. The weird part
Minnesota's West and Texas is East.
Yeah, the weird part about this, though, is if you move Minnesota to the East, the Lynx are in the East, but the Timberwolves are still in the West.
Yeah.
That's really weird. Will the NBA be willing to shuffle that on their side? There's got to be a team in the NBA that can shift over to the West and replace the Timberwolves, and Timberwolves shift to the East. I think that if they're going to do that, it needs to be a joint thing. If not, then you probably don't need to search for a Portland, and you need to go eyes towards Philly or eyes towards anybody in the Eastern region that was more appealing. Or just pull out all the stops to make a Toronto happen, because I think it complicates things, and it would just be weird in a small way, not in a big way, because games are still going to be played at the same place. Playoff games are going to still be played at the same place. But as far as the I guess the travel situation would be mostly the same, but it's just weird to have one team, one affiliate in the East and one affiliate in the West. WNBA in the East, NBA in the West. It just wouldn't make a whole lot of sense.
It would. I think it's not as big of a deal, at least to me, because the thing for me, since it's not the playoffs are not East versus East until you get to the finals, and West versus West until you get to the finals. They just go top 8 based on record. I don't think it really matters as much. If they were going to do anything, I think the NBA might look at doing something similar with the 1 through 16 that they do, and reseed it that way if it weren't an issue in terms of travel and concerns or anything like that. But I don't think they would. So I don't think it's as big of an issue if they have to move the Lynx to the East, because it really doesn't affect as much, to my knowledge, in terms of travel, in terms of playoffs or anything like that. If they were doing it by conference, it would be a little bit more tricky. So it could be something they could still do, the Portland Fire or whatever the team name would be, and move Minnesota to the East. But I think it would be just as easily for them to go, look at Toronto, look at Philadelphia, get one of those two, and then continue. Like maybe instead of just 2, you could potentially add 4.
Yeah, and I think the smartest plan here, to be honest, is to pivot your original course, which seems to be Portland and Toronto. Let those things really kind of pull together over the next couple of years, and string in a Philly and make 2 brand new franchises, usher those in, and then once it comes time to play for them in 2025, that's when you start talking about, like, okay, now Portland's ready, okay, now Toronto's ready. Then you can add 2 more right at the same time, because they'll have times to get their bearings together, figure out exactly where they're going to be playing their games. Because I think another part of the issue with Toronto is if I'm remembering the proper name of the stadium, I hope this is the right place, the right gym. Scotiabank Arena. They're
That's what I
talking
thought.
about playing the games there, but there's been conflict with that due to the concerts that are performed there. They don't want to get rid of the number of concerts that get played there during the summer to facilitate the WNBA games, at least for now.
Could they do like a doubleheader with the game first or the concert first, and then
probably not going to happen. That's a lot of changeover for the venue, a lot of cleanup and changeover, especially since fans like to get there early and things like that. So too, But I mean, that's part of the complications with Toronto. So I mean, I feel like that's the quickest way to go. I mean, you got your Bay Area now. String in a second team, whether that's it's got to be somebody in the East. It just makes things easier for you, so you don't have to move teams from one conference to another one. And get that done and out of the way, and see what happens later in the years if Portland and Toronto are more together in a couple of years from now. Once Bay Area and whoever the other team is are starting in 2025, then you can have the conversations to like, okay, as soon as this season's over, we will talk about our next 2 expansion teams. And I think that would be the easiest way to go about that. And Golden State, the ones there, they're going to be ushering that in. Of course, they're in the Bay Area. Quote, we're coming in here, number 1, to win. Warriors chairman Joe Lacob told ESPN. Number 2, we want to see this league and women's basketball grow, and we hope to be a big part of it. He's made the claim that they're going to win a championship in the first 5 years, BJ. That's just honestly, that's almost like a with it or quit it question without being a with it or quit it question. Do you believe that this future expansion team way ahead of time, before you even see any extended details, what their name could be, before you see the roster, just like this man, do you believe that they can build a championship team and win a title in 5 years?
I mean, if the way that they have done it with the Warriors is that they proved that they could do it, but I don't know if 5 years seems like a very short window to build it up.
Be a Vegas Aces.
What's up?
They would have to be a Vegas Aces.
I think so.
18, 19, 20, 21. They won in 22. Took 5 years to get it done.
Yeah.
So they would have to start off hotter and more stacked up than Vegas did. They had like 3 straight number 1 picks. It was like Plum, Asia, and Jackie or something like that. They railed them off. Yeah. Are you going to get that over there in the Bay Area? Probably not. I mean, you may get. Well, I mean, if you start off your first season, you stink, which is very likely. I mean, getting your expansion players, or you're going to get some hometown players that want to go play for that team just because it's the Bay Area. They grew up there. Some notable names: Chelsea Gray, Sabrina Ionescu, Morgan Birch. A couple other names I can't remember right now, but I saw those as players who are from the Bay Area that may or may not have interest in that. I mean, Chelsea Gray wins another ring. Why not? Go finish your career in your hometown, relax, chill with your, with your rings on your finger and just be chilling in your finals MVP.
Well, let me ask this. So this is in time for the 25 season, right?
Yeah, they're starting play in 2025.
Yeah. So they'd be a part of the 2025 draft. So no, I guess she'd be next year, wouldn't she? Caitlin Clark would not be still in Iowa.
Maybe she does. She hasn't completely, gone with the fact that she's going to come out of come into this draft year. I mean, I saw that little teaser earlier. I mean, it's very likely. It just depends on if she wants to play for the Indiana Fever or not, because that's who's got the number 1 pick. Yeah. But yeah. And I mean, maybe she wants to try and, wait it out one more year, really, if she doesn't get a championship or something, which is, I mean, it's going to be hard. I mean, the chance was last year, you didn't get it. And I say you just go through, have a super bomb year, set some more records, and then go into the W and make your bread. But in college, she's making plenty of bread right now, so it's not like she's hurting for money. I mean, that's the thing with college these days. You ain't got to come out. She's gonna make more money right now than she will next year or in the WNBA. She's just stacking up NIL money all year long.
Not only is it a possibility for Caitlin Clark, but we're hearing possibility for the NFL that Caleb Williams could be sticking around. Like this is a good thing and a bad thing with NIL, because then it talks about what your options are, how many years you got on contracts or whatnot. So the only reason I ask is if I couldn't remember if she couldn't come out until next year and then she was going to, or she had to come out because that was going to be her senior year. I couldn't remember if she was going to be for sure 24 or if she had another year that potentially she could stay there till after
I believe she
25.
can stay one more. And I mean, Caitlin
Okay.
just sit there and stack your bread and keep setting some NCAA records. I mean,
She could be
We'll
Golden
see.
State. She could be the part of the Bay Area team.
maybe that's maybe that's what. Who knows? That could be in her plans, low key, and she's just not spilling the beans until time to come. And
Yeah.
we'll have to see though. But we'll get into the actual meat of what this show was supposed to be here today, and that is a WNBA Finals preview. We drug out expansion a little bit more than anticipated, but that is okay. It's expansion. I mean,
It's
coming to the
exciting.
league.
We've been talking about it for years, man.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a while, and now we need to talk about this WNBA Finals that's going on right now and some of the things within it, some of the important factoids that we got to discuss in this matchup. These two superstars in Asia Wilson and Brianna Stewart, as you mentioned in the stat of the episode, they have matched up before, BJ, and Stewie, of course, won that one. A series sweep of those Aces back in 2020, an Aces team that honestly should not have been there back in 2020.
No.
Shout out to the play of Angel McContry, who is not in the league anymore, amazingly enough, after her amazing performance in the semifinals that year to send those girls to the finals. She didn't do a whole lot in the finals, but she gave everything she got to send them there there in
over the Lynx that year, right?
Yeah. Who?
Yeah, over the Lynx, right? They beat the Lynx.
They played in the semifinals.
Or maybe it's the Sun. Maybe it's the Sun.
Probably. I don't remember who they played.
I think it's a Storm. May beat the Lynx.
But anyway, yeah, so that's what happened back then. Stewie, she's played in the finals twice. Right now, she's 2-0. Hasn't lost a single game in the WNBA Finals. BJ, she swept both times. She swept the Mystics back in 2018, and then swept the Aces in 2020 when she made her way back to the finals. So she's yet to lose a game. So I mean, if they lose game one, I mean, it's like, oh, Stewie done lost her first game in the WNBA Finals. Crazy to even think about. But what's crazier is the level of talent that we have in these WNBA Finals right now. It's a matchup people wanted since the opening of the season, Aces versus Liberty. It's one that everybody predicted. It's the one where people were struggling to pick a champion in the beginning. It's hard to go through with, and one where we thought we were going to see an additional star in this matchup in Candace Parker, but unfortunately injuries took her away from us in mid-July. But, here we are, and this is what we got to do. And there's some keys in this series, and we got to see if some of those things can be figured out in this one. Obviously, and, I just mentioned Candace is not with the team, but, there are some other players who have to play well to get things together. Ever since they lost Candace Parker, the Aces are 23-5, and they've got to have some stepping up from players like Kia Stokes and Alicia Clark, because in 3 of 5 of those losses were against the New York Liberty, and Kia Stokes and Alicia Clark didn't play the greatest in those matchups. Alicia Clark, obviously the sixth player of the year, wasn't the most efficient in those games, just 8 for 24 from the field shooting and a -21 in her 99 minutes. And Kia Stokes as well didn't have a single point in those 3 matchups. Just kind of rebounded and played defense, was a -47. So they've exploited some mismatches within that, and Stokes being a non-shooter, Clark being a nice 3-and-D player, but not very tall, not very big and lanky. They try to take advantage of some of those matchups, and we're gonna see what the Aces can kind of do to combat that. Because once you get Kia Stokes in space, I mean, it's kind of over at that point, that she can't guard you in space because she doesn't have the foot speed. And she's a lot better in the paint in the interior. That's where she does her work at defensively. But the Aces are gonna have to mix things up. In terms of that, they're gonna have to get some more action from some bench players probably, or they're going to end up going 6 deep straight up if they can't play Kia Stokes sometimes. And that's going to depend on, can Alicia Clark play improve compared to what she gave you the other 3 times against the Liberty in those losses. So we'll have to see what they're able to roll out. I mean, obviously, Asia is going to be a big focal point in this one. She's a much better player than she was in 2020. And, she's the de facto main reason that they're there this time, and she wasn't the last time out. Even though she played okay throughout the playoffs. And I mean, played pretty well. But I mean, Angel's the one that sent them there back in 2020. But there's a lot of questions surrounding how they're going to play. The Aces and how the Liberty are going to play. or how the Aces are going to play the Liberty.
Mhm.
Will they play much zone? Are players going to match up man to man? What are we going to do here? Will Sabrina finally, turn things on in these finals? Will Stewie turn things on in the finals as well? She hasn't had the strongest playoffs, but all those questions are going to be coming about. But one of the X factors who's been playing really well throughout the course of the playoffs, BJ, for the New York Liberty, that's Jonquel Jones. Really been playing really well ever since the end of the All-Star break. Has really kind of found her confidence again and has been a double-double machine throughout these playoffs, and her defense has been paramount as well. But it's going to be a big-time matchup here, and a lot of things are going to be at play here within this matchup. What are you seeing within these stars? Do you have an X factor for this one? Mine, definitely Jonquel Jones for the Liberty. If I had to say one for the Aces, I'd probably have to say Chelsea Gray. I mean, if Chelsea Gray is on and popping like she was last year in the WNBA finals, then my goodness, who in the world will stop her? And if you gotta say like, man, who's gonna stop her? To two players, out there, then it's gonna be a different type of day. Because you don't want to have to sell out, for two players like that. You hope that just, one player has it going, and on the offensive side in that regard. But you got an X factor for this?
Yeah, so I mean, you're right on the money for the Aces. It's got to be Chelsea Gray. It's if she's able to give as good of a performance as we saw from her last year, especially in those finals against Connecticut, then they've got a really good chance of winning. But for me, as much as I think that Stewie's going to, have it turned on, and as she always seems to get, up for these finals games, as we talked about with her performance in the 2020 and the 2018 finals, I think the X factor for the Liberty is actually Sabrina. I like what we've seen from Jonquel in the playoffs, and I think that they might have, some answers, especially for her. But it's really going to come down to, I think, how Sabrina does. That's one player for the Liberty that really needs to step up, because there's going to be a lot of attention on Stewie. There's going to be a lot of attention on Jonquel for what we've seen from them so far in the playoffs. But it's going to come down to Sabrina, I think, is going to be the true X factor for New York. And I really think that her having a big performance in game one might surprise some people, but it wouldn't surprise me. I think if she's able to have a big game in game one, this is going to be very interesting coming down to the final game potentially type of series.
Yeah, game one is always a huge one, and man, every game is going to be big for the New York Liberty. Stewie coming in, not having lost a single finals game, but the New York Liberty have the most finals losses in WNBA history, BJ.
Wow.
With 4 of them. They lost in 97 to the Comets, 99 to the Comets, 2000 to the Comets, and 2002 to the Sparks. I think there are 3 other teams that have 3 finals losses, those being the Connecticut Sun, or no, I'll take it back. Connecticut Sun and New York Liberty are tied with finals losses with 4.
Because of last year, right?
Connecticut's lost last year. Yeah, they've got 4 now.
Okay.
And behind them, Atlanta Dream got 3 losses. Minnesota, well, nope, I don't want to say that. 1, 2, nope, just a lot of people with 2. I don't know. I don't think there's anybody with 3. I wanted to say Atlanta. No, yeah, Atlanta has 3. I take that back.
Okay.
So the 4, it goes to New York and Connecticut with 4 finals losses, and Atlanta has 3. Atlanta is the only one. Well, I take that back. Atlanta and New York. No, all 3 of those. None of those teams have a championship. Connecticut, no championship. New York, no championship. And Atlanta, no championship.
And Atlanta's the newest team to get 3 appearances.
Yeah, it's
because they were the last expansion team, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they were the last.
They
were the last expansion team, and they got into the finals 2 years later. Made it to the finals, and so they came into the league in 2008 and saw the finals 3 times. In 10, 11, and 13, they lost them all. But Angel McContry led them there. That was big time play from her when those Atlanta Dream came up. But anyway, Liberty 0-4 in the finals so far, looking for Stewie to be the one that leads them there to get a championship. Jonquel 0-1 in the finals. Salute 1-0 in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Sabrina, never been there. Stewie 2-0. We'll see how those numbers change. If they
Asia's 1-1, right?
Yes, Asia's 1-1.
Yeah.
And I tried to find this through our beautiful people over at Basketball Reference, but they did not have this in extent like they do for the NBA side, so I couldn't dig into the true depths of that through Basketball Reference. So I went over to some other friends who do a lot of good work over across the timeline for some WNBA Finals numbers here, and wanted to see if some of the players that are playing right now are in some of these. And lo and behold, some of the most points scored in a single finals game is on here. And one of those goes to, you know who, Breanna Stewart, back in October 2nd of 2020 against Vegas. She scored 37, which is the second most scored in a WNBA Finals game in history, behind only Angel McCoughtry, who did so October 5th in 2011 versus the Lynx and put up 38. Angel McCoughtry is on this list 3 out of the 5 of these top 5. She had a 33, a 35, and a 38-point game.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me, Drew.
Bucket.
Man.
Bucket. She's tough for sure. And some other players who've got some assist high marks in this one, that's where I'm at right now. Courtney Vandersloot with a pair of assist high marks that she had back in 21 in the finals, had a 14 assist game and a 15 assist game. Sloot also Courtney Vandersloot was back in the finals in 2014. I'm sorry, she's 1-1. I forgot about that. They lost to Mercury. She had 11 assists in that game back then, and another time in this last matchup with the Mercury, Sloot 3 games with 10 plus assists. So 15, 14, and 11 in that last finals for Sloot. The other one came back in 2014. Let's see for some more things. I had some more on here. Courtney Vandersloot, assist to turnover, assist with no turnovers happened in the 2021 finals with Courtney Vandersloot. 11 assists against the Mercury. Let's see, who else did I have on? I had some more Stewie stuff on here, but there's some more Sloot stuff. She's gonna be in all the assist things, assist to turnover ratio, assist percentage, all that good stuff. But another good thing here. Jonquel Jones is actually within the mix here. Offensive rebounds. She had the most offensive rebounds in the game with 9 back in 2019 when they lost to the Mystics.
Man.
And defensive rebounds. Stewie had the most in the finals game with 15 back in 2020 against Vegas. Let's see. They had a couple of more categories here. Courtney Vandersloot tied with a lot of others with most steals in a finals game with 5. Let's see. Stewie made this list in another category. I can't find where it is. Let me get to it here in just a second.
Is it blocks?
No, she's here in field goals made. 15 field goals made in the WNBA Finals. That also being in the year against the Aces. And let's see. I don't want to go field goals attempted. Nobody cares about that. Field goal percentage. She wasn't there. And where was the other one at? Sorry for the extended bit here. Okay. Can't find it. But obviously got some players who have seen the finals, already and are in getting good company here. Obviously, Asia didn't have the best finals back in 2020. She's not really in any of these top categories, but I assure you she's going to make her name and her imprint in this finals for sure as one of the best players in the league. But yeah, those are some of the notables there for what's been going on in the finals over the years. I was trying to find records for, people's finals record and things like that. And see where players stacked up and, who's won the most finals game without losing one and all that stuff. But
maybe have to check the team notes is where I would say that might be.
Yeah, that might be a better spot for him, but I was able to not find most of those things. So that's the way that cookie crumbled right there, but I was still able to find a good bit of nuggets on some of those. And looking at the all-time scorers in WNBA playoff history, none of those players are currently still in the playoffs. They did have one, but she's no longer in it since her son are now gone, and that's DeWanna Bonner. She is 5th on the all-time scoring list in the WNBA playoffs with 1,057 points in 78 games. Ahead of her are only Maya Moore, Tamika Candace Parker and Diana Taurasi. Diana Taurasi ahead by at least 300 points more than the player below her, which is Candace Parker.
I was
And
just saying,
she won't be caught. She won't be caught. The only person that could have caught her was Maya, and Maya's done.
Yeah, I was just saying, didn't Bonner just pass Maya Moore just in that last game? I'm saying she's fourth. But
I don't. Oh, maybe then I'm looking at one that was through September 26th. So if there's a more updated one, then
I've got through October 6th, which has her at 1079, so fourth, 2 ahead of Maya Moore.
So never mind then. Maya's below her. There you go. Thank you, BJ, for having that one.
Of course,
yeah. I didn't know there was a more updated one than that, but cool. But yeah, none of those players are still in the playoffs, so we won't see anybody climbing up the scoring list right there. I mean, Stewie's going to add to her total, which I imagine we'll probably have to see a couple of more playoff runs before we see Stewie enter this playoff points chat here with those top numbers. But yeah, it's hard to predict who's going to win this matchup here between the two teams. Obviously, I picked the Aces to win at the beginning of the season. I'm still rolling with the Aces again to win it all, just because I want to stay consistent with my pick. I'm over here saying it's hard, and I'm staying with it, but I just want to stick to my guns here. Don't want to flip the ship here. I still think the Aces can do it. They're hungry for it. They know that history's around the corner. They don't want to be 0-2 in the WNBA finals, and something was already taken from Asia. I almost said them, but it was taken from Asia in the MVP award. She doesn't want to lose the championship as well, and I mean it would just cap off quite a perfect year for Stewie if they happen to win it in New York. I mean, after the franchise lost 4 times in the WNBA finals, as soon as the person who's never lost there gets you there, she wins it all for you and brings you your first MVP in the same season. And she's more than likely going to end up getting that finals MVP as well. So, I mean, it would just be some storybook stuff. So either that happens and like Asia's, pissed off all offseason, she comes back next year and is even better somehow and gets like every single award there is to get, or the Aces make that history and go back to back, and then the Liberty are still without a title, 0-5 in the WNBA finals. That was just a sour taste.
Yeah, I said before the season I was picking the Liberty. I said at the beginning of the playoffs I was sticking with that pick as well, and just so that we have a little bit of a difference of opinion. I mean, it's tough. I think that definitely Asia has had the better playoffs so far, but if ever there was a time for Stewie to get things going, it's going to be here as we start the WNBA finals. Drew, it's going to be exciting to see.
They're going to need her, BJ, because, I mean, if she keeps playing kind of pedestrian like she has been, it's pedestrian relative to how she's done
played in the past,
typically.
Yeah.
But, I mean, she's going to have to step it up and do some Stewie things for the New York Liberty to really kind of open up their offense and be able to do what they can do and have done to the Aces in the season so far. Yeah. So we'll see how that shakes out, if Stewie can muster it up and get back to her MVP caliber self and give the Aces a run for their money. But the Aces are definitely going to have a handful there. I hope that the matchup advantages won't be too much to where they have to use a bench that's not ready to go out there and get it, because the Liberty, they're the deep team that can go 8 deep in the playoffs, but Vegas, they're not going beyond 7 for sure, and it might likely be 6.
Yeah, so and that's part of why I think that I mean it's going to be exciting. I think this is going to be a great matchup one way or the other. I think that because they've got a little bit more depth, they've got a little bit more that they could use. Is part of the reason why I give the Liberty the edge.
We'll see what happens, BJ. Those WNBA finals begin on Sunday. It's a Sunday and a Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday schedule. So we're gonna see. We're gonna have a couple of games go by. We're gonna talk before Game 3 gets here. So if it's a sweep, we'll be talking about a possible sweep when that comes around. If not, we're either looking at a 1-1 matchup going into a feisty Game 3. We're ready for it all, no matter what, when that comes around. And the WNBA playoffs and the finals get in full swing. Ready for it. And to think that it was like concluding this time last year is kind of crazy. We're about to get 2 extra weeks of hoops. Now we can see the full extension of where things finish off for the season. and what we're looking at for next year. But yeah, those are your that's your preview for the Las Vegas Aces and the New York Liberty for the WNBA Finals. X Factor Jonquel Jones for the Liberty, X Factor Chelsea Gray for the Liberty for me, and BJ, your X Factors.
That was Sabrina and Chelsea Gray. Sabrina for the Liberty and
Gray.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. Those are what you got ahead for Liberty versus Aces. It's going to be exciting. And
it is. You know what you got ahead for us, Drew? Yeah, you got to see. You want to play some games in your segment? Well, how about we play our standard, typical game that we conclude each show off with here? That's a little bit of With It or Quit It. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit that at the same time you did, but if you're new to the show, I'm got 5 questions for my man over there on the left side of my screen. He's over on my right side over here. But got 5 questions for him. Drew is going to tell me if he is with it or if he's going to quit it. We've had over 100 episodes of this already. So, Drew, if you're ready, start with question number 1.
Well, actually, before we get into it, BJ, I forgot to mention something in the NBA segment. I just want to slide it in here right now because it's on this beautiful sticky note that I had ready to go. I had teams to watch for the NBA season for you guys. 5 teams. Portland Trailblazers, with what they got out there now, a very interesting group. Detroit Pistons, we did talk about them today. The Houston Rockets, we briefly mentioned them today in their backcourt duo.
Yeah.
The Oklahoma City Thunder as well. Gilgeous Alexander and all those young boys over there. And another team we did mention, the San Antonio Spurs. Awesome teams to look out for this season. Don't forget. All right, now we can go on. Quit. I'm ready now.
All right, we're ready. It's time to get into With It or Quit It. Question number 1. And Drew.
Yes.
Well, okay. Okay, there it is. I had it, and then it went away.
Oh.
All right, Drew. So question number 1. When you are using the internet, whenever you're looking something up or whatever you've got for show prep potentially, if you need to look something else up in a, pull something else up from what you've already got, you do that in a tab as opposed to pulling up a new window. With it or quit it?
Wait, what? A new window? Like what? Like a new app? Like Edge?
If I got no. So like you're scrolling Chrome. You've got your hoop stats over here on this side, and then you're like, oh, I need to look for this certain thing. Or if you're doing game prep and you've got show prep on one side, then you pull something else up. You do it in a new tab in the same window, or a new window like where you've got
like a split screen. You asking if I split it or
kind of, but it would be like not two different browser like types, but 2 different sides as opposed to 2 different tabs in the same window.
Split my screen up with stuff?
Well, it's
confused.
all in the same window.
But so I'm just gonna say that I do open up new tabs.
Yes.
But I don't know. I'm confused at the first part of what you're trying to mention here because new window. I don't open it. I don't.
Okay, so instead of so you just go with tabs all across. You don't open up a new window for something else. Okay.
Yeah, if I'm opening,
that's the question.
So I just right click and open a new tab or whatever. But like I will. I don't know how to explain the window thing because I feel like I do both because like I'll split it on the screen and.
But it's another tab from the same window that you split, right? It's not going up to the little triple dots. I
always have to utilize another tab even when I want to split it. So right now, when I grab our StreamYard and I split it and I pull something else up, I've got us over here on the left, and it's the same, like window that I use, but I have 2 separate tabs open.
Yeah, so that's what I was asking. The window is basically so you see if you go to the triple dots, there's like the new tab option, and then there's a new window that pulls up something else entirely, basically another browser window.
Oh, that's kind of what I was alluding to when I asked about Microsoft Edge. Like, it didn't have to be Edge, but it's a whole nother like deal. Open up a whole nother window. Well, damn, now it's a complicated ass answer. So I started doing work at the house now. So I made my work profile on here. So when I do that now, I do split windows. So like I made the work one red and my personal one is blue. So I do that. I do that as well. But I do also tab. I mean, so it's kind of a both answer. I mean, I really can't even give you a whether because I legitimately do both now.
More tab.
Previously, yeah, I'm more a tab person.
Okay.
I'll
accept that as a with it
up today.
Yeah, I'll accept that as a with it basically because at the end of the day, like if you got like your whatever you're doing, that's like game, and then you got like a music going in another tab. That's you don't pull that over into a new window. It's just all in the same. So that's what
I've never had to explain that before. So that one was kind of I was like, wait, I actually do all of these things now that we're talking about it. I do them both now.
Oh, that was not trying to make it as complicated as it seemingly got to be. But all right, Drew. Number 2. If I can hit that. Yes, I can. Forget about that. We got it.
You're not used to this one yet.
No, I'm not. I'm not. All right.
That's why you need a mouse.
Yes. The Texas Rangers got the better postseason path by being a wild card team than winning the division for Houston. They avoided the Minnesota Twins. Are you with it? Or are you going to quit it?
Quit it. We're facing the number 1 team in the playoffs. Are we not? Orioles?
Yeah, that's the number 1
I'd
seed in the American League.
Who have struggled to win a playoff series in 21 years. Or 21 games or whatever it was. I've said the stat this morning on the radio.
The Twins were 5-2 against us this season, Drew.
That's okay, but they have bad postseason history. I'd rather face that than a team that's actually better than us.
Well, I mean, it may not be better than us. I'll give you a counterpoint.
They could beat us. I don't think.
I'll give you a counterpoint. This is a very young Orioles squad. The moment might be a little too big for their britches.
I don't know.
It might be a better move to go this route. Going through an injury-depleted Tampa Bay team in the wild card and then going to Baltimore to get you the ALCS. Now, you wouldn't have the home field advantage, but...
I'd rather face the Twins, though, so I'm going to quit it.
All right. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. All right, Drew. Number 3. In honor of National Pizza Month. So this is the month of pizza. I know we've done some controversial things with pizza before in terms of talking, not anything.
I thought you were going to say National Taco Day because that was yesterday.
No, I wasn't even thinking about that. This is National Pizza Month, and Drew, to you, plain old cheese pizza.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Plain old cheese pizza is just boring. With it or quit it?
Can I say with it, but still eat it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, with it. I mean, it is boring. I mean, there's nothing else on it. I mean, every time I see a naked little cheese pizza, I just want to put bacon and jalapenos and everything else on it. So I do buy cheese pizzas. I don't order them. I don't order. Definitely do not order them. I buy them and put more on them. I decorate the poop out of them and then put them in my oven. But yeah, they are super boring. I won't just straight up make a cheese pizza and eat a cheese pizza because I could put something on it and make it a little more worthwhile. But yeah, I'll still eat a cheese pizza. Yeah, like if somebody comes around free pizza, like I'm going with the team, we're definitely. I think we're having Papa John's maybe on the way back. But I'll definitely be if they have nothing but cheese pizzas left. I don't give it. I mean, love pizza.
Nothing's better than free pizza.
Yeah, but cheese pizza definitely boring. They need to grow up, put some stuff on it.
Agreed. All right, Drew. Number 4. Well, when you were in school, Drew, you would have given up a week off in the summertime to go back a little bit early if you knew you were getting a week off in the fall. So basically, you were getting a fall break as in addition to spring break, but you'd have to sacrifice a week in the summer. With it or quit it?
So take away a week in the summer to get a fall break?
Yes.
But they already get fall breaks and all their summer days nowadays. I want them both like they get.
I was just saying, I mean, they started earlier and earlier, I think, because I mean it honestly, even in Texas, all the schools they varied. Like some started the second week, some started the third week, some started the middle of the second week.
it was kind of everywhere, even up here. But let's see. Christmas break, one less week of summer.
For a weekend like October or
October?
just before, as opposed to like only getting Thanksgiving, Christmas. And
No, I want to keep it in the summer because I think these kids these days, no offense, any kids who are watching, they're a little bit dumber than we were. Just because, like, they're not. I feel like we were in school more than they were. Like, we had the longest break we ever had in high school was Christmas break, and that was 2 weeks when everybody everywhere was off for at least 2 weeks on Christmas.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving we got the day before Thanksgiving, and like finished the weekend, and then we were back.
I was just saying, I remember we had the,
but like years before that, like in middle school or like going into high school, we used to have the whole week, and then they stopped us Wednesday through Friday, and then you're back on Monday. That is evil.
I remember it the other way. I remember in middle school was Monday, Tuesday going, and then by the time I got to high school, we were off the whole week, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I
wouldn't like that. We got less days in high school. We were up there Monday and Tuesday, then went home Wednesday.
It wasn't until I got back to college that I was having to go back on the week of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, not a fan of that. And you just throw in another fall break. I mean, all those little break, come back for like 2 weeks. Oh, we're coming for Thanksgiving. Oh, come on back, break again. It's too many breaks. I wouldn't be focused at the end of the year. No, it's too many. That's why I'm saying I think they got too many breaks now, bro, because they legitimately have a fall break, and that thing is at least a week, if not two. And not only do they have a normal spring break, they got a winter break too. They've got 4 breaks, or no, 5. So the fall break, they got a Thanksgiving, a Christmas, spring break, and some other break time in the winter too. Like, that's too much time off and not enough school.
So all that to say, quit it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Last
but not least, Drew, number 5. Okay. I'm not asking you the same thing I asked you a couple weeks back, but I'm going to have you project ahead. Not only will the Texas Longhorns beat Oklahoma this weekend.
Oh, Jesus.
They will be in the college football playoff come the end of the season.
Oh, my God.
With it or quit it, Drew.
Oh, what? You putting this on me? What kind of is that, bro?
Have you watched them? They look like they're one of the best teams in the country.
We've seen this movie before, BJ.
Have we, Drew? Have we?
Yeah.
When? When did we see this movie?
Back when Sam was here. Or no, that wasn't Sam. Colt. Back when Colt was 5-0. We thought we were happy about that Texas team.
And you won that game. And you ended up playing for the national championship, Drew. I'm not asking you to win the national championship. I'm just saying you're going to be in the college football playoff at the end of the year.
It's too much pressure. I don't like this question. I'm going to say quit it because we're Texas.
You want it to happen.
That's just what we do. And if I say that we're not going to make it, we're probably can go and win.
I knew I'd get a good reaction out of that one.
Welcome.
So
I don't want to be disappointed, man. I'm not going to be like, yeah, we're going to beat Oklahoma. Yeah, and we're going all the way to the championship game. That sounds like a delusional Cowboys fan. It's our year. Yeah. We're going to make it.
You might be the only one, Drew. Everybody's got some delusions here around these parts for both Texas and the Cowboys.
I would love to be wrong. Get the Longhorns there after we've been eaten alive in the college football ranks, just from a verbal standpoint over the years. Like, oh, we're back. Let's see what you did, Sam Ellinger, when you said that. We got chewed up and spit back out, but at least we reformed ourselves and we're out here winning now. But Jesus.
All right, man. That's with it or quit it.
That's with it or quit it with a whole bunch of long answers, and that's the episode as well. A little bit extra on this episode here. We had some added, and we're still working on the time thing. It's hard to get everything across in what feels like a limited amount of time. But, yeah. I mean, I like getting in our segments as well to add to it. I mean, could it add another 5 to 10 minutes to each NBA and WNBA segment? Sure, but we'll get this thing figured out at some point. But guys, make sure you follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Rate and review the show as well. You can do that over on Apple and Spotify. Hit those 5 stars. Give us 5 stars over on Apple and Spotify. You can only review over on Apple, but you can rate on both. So make sure you do that and give us 5 stars. Like, comment, and subscribe over on YouTube if you haven't. If you're watching this video, hit that like button. We'd appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button as well so you can stay in tune with everything we're posting over here on YouTube. And make sure you're following us on socials like we told you earlier. Follow us on social media on all those platforms you see right above me and BJ right here and that you know that we have out there. So give us a follow at _lowdown. That's THA_lowdown on social media. Got a new episode again next week, of course, guys. Make sure you stay tuned for it. I believe that was our NBA season preview.
I think so.
Mr. BJ. So make sure you guys are in for that. If we didn't get any of that NBA in today, we'll definitely be getting it in next week. BJ, you got anything to add before we head out?
No, I had a great time. Let's have another great show next week. I can't wait.
You heard it here first, guys. We're going to be back for another edition of the Lowdown Sports Show next week. And we'll catch you next week.